Xin chào tất cả các bạn học sinh, quý phụ huynh đã đến tham dự buổi hội thảo trực tuyến tháng 6 của IDP ngày hôm nay. Trước khi bắt đầu thì các bạn cho chị hỏi một chút là các bạn có nghe rõ được tiếng của chị không nhỉ? Và có nhìn được màn hình của chị không? Nếu mà các bạn nhìn được thì các bạn có thể chat vào phần ô chat nhé. Rồi, ngày hôm nay trong một cái buổi sáng ngày Chủ nhật rất là đẹp trời thì IELTS IDP có tổ chức buổi hội thảo trực tuyến với cái chủ đề là Hè đến Quẩy Tới Bến cùng IELTS Reading và Listening. Trong sự kiện ngày hôm nay thì ngoài việc là chúng ta được cung cấp thêm những cái thông tin về kỳ thi IELTS thì chúng ta còn được gặp một chuyên gia IELTS của IDP, đó là thầy Cormac Mcmahon. Hi Cormac, good morning. How are you today?
Good morning, Hương. I'm excellent. Good morning, everyone. Chào buổi sáng mọi người. I'm excellent. Thank you.
Yeah, very nice to meet you, and we will see you later. We'll have the first introduction about the IELTS and the IDP, and then please welcome you back later. Thank you, Cormac.
Perfect. See you then.
Và sự kiện ngày hôm nay thì chúng ta sẽ bắt đầu luôn nhé các bạn. Sorry, một chút lỗi. Okay. Trước khi mà bắt đầu thì chị xin giới thiệu với các bạn một chút. Chị là Bạch Lan Hương, hiện nay chị đang quản lý phát triển bài thi IELTS ở khu vực miền Bắc và miền Trung. Chị đã làm việc tại IDP được hơn 3 năm rồi, và điều mà chị tự hào nhất về IDP đó chính là ở IDP thì các bạn sẽ được cung cấp một cái giải pháp toàn diện cho cái việc lựa chọn ngành nghề về giáo dục của mình. IDP thì có một mảng đó là tư vấn du học với hơn 50 năm kinh nghiệm tư vấn trên toàn cầu và 25 năm dẫn đầu ở tại Việt Nam. Tỷ lệ đậu visa của các thí sinh tại IDP rất là cao, khoảng 95%. Và hiện nay thì IDP có khoảng hơn 1.000 cơ sở giáo dục uy tín là đối tác trong cái mạng lưới tư vấn du học của mình. Và điều đặc biệt là khi đến với mạng lưới tư vấn du học của IDP thì các bạn sẽ không mất bất cứ một cái chi phí nào để có thể làm hồ sơ, nhận được những cái thông tin về học bổng, cũng như là tư vấn trong suốt cái quá trình mà các bạn nộp hồ sơ và xin visa. Và chính vì là cái lợi thế đó nên là nếu như bất cứ bạn nào mà có một cái ước mơ về du học thì các bạn hãy đừng ngần ngại và tìm đến IDP để tiếp cận gần hơn với những cái quỹ học bổng nhé. Ngoài ra thì trước khi đi học thì chắc chắn là các bạn sẽ cần một cái tấm hộ chiếu thông hành, đúng không ạ? Thì đó chính là một tấm bằng chứng chỉ của kỳ thi IELTS. Và IDP thì tự hào là trung tâm tổ chức kỳ thi IELTS được số 1 ở tại Việt Nam và được yêu thích nhất tại Việt Nam hiện nay. Và chúng tôi tự hào hơn nữa đó là chúng tôi đều có những cái địa điểm thi với cơ sở vật chất hiện đại này và trải rộng khắp Việt Nam. Còn trải rộng đến đâu thì một lát nữa chúng ta sẽ cùng xem nhé. Và trước khi mà các bạn được đào tạo, được học để thi được IELTS thì IDP cũng rất tự hào có một đơn vị đào tạo uy tín, đó chính là Trung tâm Anh ngữ ACET. Đây là đơn vị tài trợ cho cuộc thi Đường lên đỉnh Olympia trong nhiều năm, và hiện nay thì vẫn là đơn vị đào tạo cho những nhà vô địch Olympia để trang bị cho các nhà vô địch về kiến thức tiếng Anh, kỹ năng sử dụng ngoại ngữ và kỹ năng tiếng Anh học thuật trước khi mà các nhà vô địch sẽ làm việc học tập tại nước ngoài. Và nếu mà những bạn nào mà quan tâm đến những cái khóa học online thì chắc chắn là các bạn sẽ không lạ gì cái tên là Hot Course. Thì hiện nay thì Hot Course cũng là một thành viên của IDP. Và vừa rồi thì chắc là sau khi mà chị nói đến cái thông tin là IDP thì trải rộng khắp trên cả nước, đúng không ạ? Thì các bạn sẽ hỏi là vậy thì muốn liên hệ với IDP chúng tôi làm thế nào? Thì đầu tiên là chúng ta sẽ có website idp.com/Việt Nam nhé các bạn. Địa chỉ này rất là ngắn gọn và dễ nhớ này. Ngoài ra thì các bạn có thể gọi đến hotline 19006955 kết nối với các văn phòng của IDP trên cả nước. Nếu mà kể từ Bắc vào Nam thì chúng ta sẽ có Hà Nội này là 3 văn phòng, Hải Phòng, Đà Nẵng, Vinh, Nha Trang, Thành phố Hồ Chí Minh và Cần Thơ. Ngoài ra còn có một văn phòng trực tuyến ở tại Quảng Ninh, Bắc Ninh, Hải Dương, Đồng Nai, Bình Dương và Vũng Tàu. Ở đây có bạn nào nhìn thấy tên địa điểm của mình và có văn phòng của IDP không ạ? Thì các bạn có thể chat vào phần ô chat nhé. Rồi, và chị thì đang làm việc tại bộ phận IELTS. Bộ phận bài thi IELTS thì viết tắt của cụm từ International English Language Testing System. Đó là một hệ thống kiểm tra chứng chỉ Anh ngữ tiêu chuẩn quốc tế, và cách đây khoảng độ 5 năm, chỉ nghĩ là 5-6 năm, thì cái chứng chỉ IELTS còn khá là lạ lẫm với tất cả các bạn học sinh Việt Nam. Tuy nhiên là trong khoảng 5 năm trở lại đây thì cái chứng chỉ IELTS nó trở thành một cái tấm vé hỗ trợ cho rất là nhiều bạn thực hiện và thành công cái ước mơ của mình. Bởi vì là chứng chỉ IELTS thì được hơn 11.000 tổ chức trên thế giới chấp nhận các bạn ạ. Và đây là chứng chỉ uy tín nhất. Không những vậy, nó còn được các chính phủ các nước Anh này, Úc, Canada, New Zealand sử dụng được cho mục đích nhập cư. Nghĩa là nếu như khi các bạn có chứng chỉ IELTS và muốn đi du học ở nước ngoài thì bắt buộc là các bạn phải sở hữu cái chứng chỉ này. Và khi mà có rồi thì các bạn sẽ rất là thuận lợi trong cái quá trình xin visa. Ở Việt Nam hiện nay thì cái xu hướng mà các nhà tuyển dụng này, các trường đại học và đặc biệt là những cái cơ quan nhà nước ấy, họ chấp nhận chứng chỉ IELTS thì ngày càng nhiều hơn. Và ở IDP thì chị cũng rất là tự hào, bởi vì hàng ngày thì đều được nghe những cái câu chuyện của các bạn chia sẻ về việc là chứng chỉ IELTS đã giúp các bạn thực hiện cái ước mơ của mình như thế nào, đã giúp các bạn thăng tiến trong sự nghiệp ra sao, cũng như là giúp đem đến rất là nhiều niềm vui cho hàng chục ngàn bố mẹ khi mà có con trúng tuyển sớm, đậu vào những cái kỳ thi, đậu vào những cái trường đại học ở tại Việt Nam. Rồi. Và hiện nay thì chứng chỉ IELTS được hơn 3.600 tổ chức và chương trình tại Mỹ công nhận. Cách đây cái thời điểm của chị ấy, cách đây khoảng độ 10-12 năm thì cái chứng chỉ IELTS gần như là chỉ được các nước châu Âu công nhận thôi các bạn ạ. Còn Mỹ thì họ có riêng một cái bài thi riêng. Nhưng mà hiện nay thì với cái uy tín của bài thi thì ngay cả những tổ chức ở Mỹ họ đã đều công nhận, và không có sự phân biệt đối xử nào giữa bài thi IELTS với những cái bài thi khác. Và do vậy là nếu những bạn nào mà muốn chinh phục giấc mơ Mỹ thì hoàn toàn có thể đừng lo lắng gì và lựa chọn bài thi IELTS nhé. Rồi, nếu mà khi sở hữu chứng chỉ IELTS thì các bạn có biết rằng là tối thiểu các bạn cần mấy chấm thì sẽ được miễn thi kỳ thi tiếng Anh tốt nghiệp trung học phổ thông không ạ? Nếu mà những bạn nào biết thì các bạn có thể chat vào ô chat nhé, để chị xem là các bạn đã nắm được thông tin là mình cần mấy chấm thì sẽ được miễn kỳ thi tiếng Anh tốt nghiệp trung học phổ thông không? Rồi, chị thấy rất là nhiều bạn này, có bạn đạt Trần Tiến comment đầu tiên là 4.0, các bạn rất là nhiều bạn comment là 4.0, có bạn Trường Anh thì lại comment là 6.5, còn bạn Vĩnh Bảo thì comment là 4.5. Rồi, rất là nhiều thông tin. Nhưng câu trả lời của IDP và cũng là câu trả lời của Bộ Giáo dục và Đào tạo, đấy là các bạn chỉ cần tối thiểu 4.0 là các bạn sẽ được miễn kỳ thi tiếng Anh tốt nghiệp trung học phổ thông nhé. Điều này thì có nghĩa là gì ạ? Nghĩa là vào cái ngày thi mà bạn bè của mình phải đi thi tiếng Anh ấy, thì mình ở nhà, bởi vì là mình đã được miễn kỳ thi rồi các bạn. Mình chỉ phải tập trung vào những cái môn khác, và đặc biệt là những cái môn mà Bộ công bố sau, ngoài cái môn toán văn ngoại ngữ ra. Đó, và như vậy là mình đi trước, mình học trước, mình có chứng chỉ trước, thì đến cái thời điểm mà bạn bè của mình đang rất là vật lộn về tiếng Anh thì mình đã ready hết rồi, và mình đã tự tin là mình được 10 điểm luôn rồi. Đó. Ngoài ra nữa thì chắc chắn là nếu những bạn nào mà có mong muốn được tham gia những cái chương trình trao đổi quốc tế, ví dụ như là chương trình hành trình châu Á này dành cho các cái lãnh đạo trẻ này, hoặc là những cái chương trình du học hè, mà nếu các bạn có cái chứng chỉ IELTS từ sớm ấy, thì chắc chắn là cái cơ hội học bổng dành cho mình sẽ rất là cao. Và hiện nay thì chị cũng biết là rất là nhiều trường học ở tại Việt Nam có những cái chương trình giao lưu với các trường ở nước ngoài, và khi mà nhà trường chọn những cái học sinh để đi thì chắc chắn là sẽ đặt lên bàn cân đầu tiên cho những bạn nào có chứng chỉ IELTS, bởi vì điều đấy có nghĩa rằng là các bạn hoàn toàn có thể giao tiếp được với bạn bè nước ngoài để giới thiệu những cái nét đẹp về văn hóa cũng như là phong tục tập quán của Việt Nam. Và chắc chắn là nếu những bạn nào ở đây có mong muốn đi du học thì mình sẽ không thể thiếu được chứng chỉ IELTS rồi, đúng không ạ? Rồi, còn xa hơn thì nếu như các bạn mong muốn định cư ở lại các nước, ví dụ như hiện nay cộng đồng người Việt ở các nước nói tiếng Anh như là Anh, Úc, Mỹ, New Zealand, Canada thì ngày càng đông, và chắc chắn là để định cư được thì bạn không thể nói tiếng Việt được, mà chắc chắn là các bạn sẽ cần IELTS. cần một cái chứng chỉ để thể hiện được cái trình độ năng lực Anh ngữ của mình, đúng không ạ? Rồi. Và vừa rồi thì chị cũng ở đoạn đầu thì chị cũng có chia sẻ là tại sao IDP lại nói rằng là có địa điểm thi rộng khắp trên cả nước. Thì đây là cái bản đồ mà chị nghĩ là rất là nhiều bạn sẽ cần. Các bạn có thể capture lại cái màn hình này nhé, bấm phím F10 để có thể screenshot được cái màn hình này lại. Bởi vì sao ạ? Bởi vì hiện nay với cái quy định mới của Bộ Giáo dục và Đào tạo là phải được cấp các cái địa điểm thi được cấp phép thì mới được tổ chức thi. Thì hiện nay IDP đã có mặt tại 17 tỉnh thành, và đây là danh sách các cái tỉnh thành mà IDP đã có mặt. Trong đó thì đặc biệt như là Hà Nội này, thành phố Hồ Chí Minh thì IDP có khá là nhiều điểm thi để cho các bạn có thể lựa chọn. Và các địa điểm thi này thì phần lớn đều bao gồm là bài thi trên giấy và trên máy tính. Tùy vào từng lịch thi nhé các bạn. Đó. Tất cả các địa điểm thì đều có bài thi trên giấy và trên máy tính, nhưng các bạn sẽ phải chọn lịch thi để lựa chọn kỳ thi cho mình. Rồi, có bạn nào ở đây là đến từ Bình Thuận không ạ? Hay là có bạn nào đến từ Gia Lai, Đắk Lắk, hay là đến từ Cần Thơ không? Nếu mà những bạn nào để thấy là IDP có địa điểm thi tại tỉnh thành của mình thì các bạn chat vào ô chat nhé, để IDP biết được rằng là chúng tôi đã rất là tự hào về được đem cái kỳ thi này đến gần hơn với các bạn. Đây có bạn Huyền Thanh này, là comment là đến từ Lào Cai. Đó, Lào Cai thì cách Hà Nội khoảng 5 tiếng để di chuyển xe ô tô. Nhưng mà bây giờ thì bạn Huyền Thanh sẽ không phải di chuyển nữa, bởi vì ở Lào Cai là các bạn sẽ có ngay một cái địa điểm thi cho mình rồi, đúng không ạ? Rồi, còn có bạn thì sinh ra ở Gia Lai. Chúc mừng tất cả các bạn mà có địa điểm thi ngay tại tỉnh thành của mình. Còn những cái bạn mà thấy là chưa có tên tỉnh thành của mình thì cũng đừng lo lắng, bởi vì các bạn hoàn toàn có thể di chuyển một cách dễ dàng đến những cái địa điểm thi tại các tỉnh khác. Chị ví dụ như là chị có một nhóm các bạn ở Nam Định chẳng hạn, thì các bạn nói là IDP không có ở Nam Định, thì chị cũng có nói là không lo, bởi vì là các bạn chỉ mất, thay vì việc là mất hơn 2 tiếng về Hà Nội thì giờ đây là các bạn chỉ mất khoảng nửa tiếng để đi sang Thái Bình để thi thôi. Do vậy là nếu mà mình chưa thấy tên tỉnh thành của mình ở đây thì các bạn cũng đừng có lo lắng nhé, và nhờ bố mẹ gợi ý xem là địa điểm thi nào thì sẽ gần hơn với khu vực của mình. Một câu hỏi mà chị thường xuyên được gặp và thường xuyên được hỏi đấy là nên thi IELTS trên máy tính hay trên giấy? Ở đây thì không biết là các bạn đã chọn xong hình thức thi của mình chưa? Nếu mà các bạn đã chọn được hình thức thi của mình, các bạn có thể chat vào ô chat được không ạ? Để mình xem là sẽ có bao nhiêu bạn sẽ lựa chọn hình thức thi giấy và bao nhiêu bạn lựa chọn hình thức trên máy tính. Rồi, chị có thấy là các bạn bạn Võ Cao Sang này, bạn Đắc Nam Phương thì chọn là computer. Rồi có bạn các bạn thấy không? Một cái điều rất là bất ngờ đấy là phần lớn thì các bạn đều chọn hình thức thi trên máy tính. Vậy thì chắc chắn là hình thức thi trên máy tính đang ngày càng được các bạn yêu quý hơn và có những cái ưu điểm nổi bật hơn. Vậy thì chị sẽ chia sẻ với các bạn những ưu và nhược điểm của từng bài thi, để từ đó là các bạn chủ động chọn được cho mình cái hình thức thi nhé. Nếu mà các bạn lựa chọn phòng bài thi IELTS trên máy tính thì hình bên tay phải của các bạn trên màn hình chính là địa điểm phòng thi IELTS trên máy tính ở tại IDP. Ở đây thì các bạn có thể thấy rằng là đây là một phòng thi với cái trang thiết bị rất là hiện đại, đúng không ạ? Đạt chuẩn quốc tế này, từ việc là sàn thì trải thảm, nhưng các bạn sẽ không bị lo những cái tiếng mà đi lại của giám thị ở trong phòng sẽ gây cho mình cái sự mất tập trung. Hay là ví dụ các bạn có thể nhìn thấy là mình như là có một khung trời riêng vậy đó. Mình sẽ có một máy tính ở trước mặt này, và màn hình kích thước thì rất là lớn. Ngoài ra thì trong cái giao diện của bài thi trên máy tính, các bạn hoàn toàn có thể điều chỉnh được cái kích cỡ của phông chữ, và như vậy là hoàn toàn kể cả những bạn bị cận như chị thì cũng sẽ không bị quá lo là mình không nhìn rõ. Và mỗi máy tính thì đều có một cái bộ lưu điện để phòng trường hợp là mất điện, thì các bạn cũng sẽ không bị mất bài thi và cũng không phải làm lại bài thi này. Và đây là gọi là trái tim của phòng thi, bởi vì nếu mà nó dừng hoạt động thì cái bài thi của các bạn sẽ bị ảnh hưởng. Nhưng mà cái trái tim này thì rất là vui là đều là bộ lưu điện rất là hiện đại nhé các bạn, nên là sẽ không hề ngại nếu mà có sự cố xảy ra. Và đặc biệt nữa là với những bạn nào mà cái độ tập trung nó không quá tốt và dễ bị phân tán bởi cái môi trường xung quanh ấy, thì cái việc mà các bạn có một cái tai nghe chống ồn, đặc biệt là khi mà ốp vào một cái thì các bạn gần như là không nghe thì cái tiếng gì ở xung quanh luôn á, và các bạn hoàn toàn là rơi vào một cái thế giới riêng của mình. Từ đó là các bạn đạt được cái sự tập trung tối đa và đạt được cái kết quả bài thi như là cái phong độ của mình. Đặc biệt hơn nữa là bài thi IELTS trên máy tính thì sẽ có kết quả rất là nhanh, từ 3 đến 5 ngày thôi các bạn. Và chị hay nói vui là nếu như mà bài thi trên máy tính ấy, là các bạn gần như là cái thời gian mà mình hồi hộp với run ấy là nó chưa kịp, nó rất là ngắn. Và điều này thì cũng sẽ giúp cho những cái bạn mà ví dụ như là chẳng may mà điểm IELTS chưa tốt thì các bạn hoàn toàn có thể đăng ký lại ngay lập tức và không phải chờ đợi những cái lịch thi cố định. Và bởi vì là tất cả những lịch thi trong ngày, trong tuần, thậm chí là có những ngày thi cao điểm còn đến 3 ca một ngày, thì các bạn hoàn toàn có thể lựa chọn lịch thi linh hoạt. Và các bạn cũng sẽ không phải di chuyển đi quá nhiều địa điểm, bởi vì 4 kỹ năng các bạn đều được thi cùng một địa điểm trong cùng một ngày. Rồi, thế còn nếu trên giấy thì sao ạ? Trên giấy thì chúng ta sẽ phải tới các cái địa điểm thi của IDP được cấp phép. Địa điểm thi máy tính cũng như vậy nhé các bạn. Tuy nhiên là với phòng thi trên giấy thì các bạn sẽ có những cái lịch thi cố định của Cambridge, và mình sẽ có khoảng từ 4 đến 6 kỳ thi trong vòng 1 tháng. Ở đây thì các bạn cũng không quá lo đâu, bởi vì đội ngũ giám thị và giám khảo của IDP thì rất là chuyên nghiệp và thân thiện. Ngoài ra thì cái việc các bạn hoàn toàn có thể chủ động được lịch thi nói của mình nhé. Và cái việc đăng ký thi thì cũng rất là nhanh chóng và dễ dàng. Ngoài ra nữa thì hiện nay thì chắc là các bạn cũng không lạ gì những cái apps ở trên điện thoại nữa. Và IDP thì cũng rất là tự hào vì năm 2022 vừa rồi đã launch thành công cái ứng dụng là IELTS by IDP. Các bạn hoàn toàn có thể quét mã này, với những bạn nào dùng iPhone thì sẽ download, quét cái mã QR ở phía trên, và những bạn nào dùng Android thì sẽ quét ở phía dưới trên Google Play. Ở cái app này thì các bạn hoàn toàn có thể tra cứu cái lịch thi IELTS mà thuận tiện và nhanh chóng nhất này, cũng như là xem được những cái bộ tài liệu ôn thi miễn phí và những cái bài báo, những cái article của các chuyên gia của IDP dành cho thí sinh. Và đặc biệt hơn nữa là vào cái ngày thi mà các bạn có điểm ấy, nếu mà chẳng may trục trặc những cái sự cố về số điện thoại mà các bạn cung cấp cho IDP bị sai, thì các bạn vẫn có thể chủ động lên đây để tra cứu điểm thi. Nó sẽ giống như là một người bạn của các bạn trong suốt quá trình đăng ký này, ôn thi này và tra cứu kết quả. Ngoài ra thì chị thì thích nhất là ứng dụng này ở điểm là khi các bạn có điểm thi ấy, các bạn có thể share ngay lập tức trên các social media của mình, và có thể chụp ảnh màn hình gửi cho bố mẹ rất là dễ dàng, và cái giao diện thì nó rất là dễ thương. Rồi, ngoài ra nữa thì IDP cũng rất là hiểu các bạn hiện nay, không những là chỉ xem trên YouTube, trên Facebook mà còn TikTok nữa. Và hiện nay thì IDP đã có một kênh TikTok với khoảng 200.000 followers. Thì ở trên này thì sẽ có những đoạn clip ngắn chia sẻ với các bạn những cái lo lắng mà IDP thường xuyên nhận được trong tuần hoặc trong tháng đó, thì IDP sẽ xây dựng những cái content ngắn để có thể upload lên đây để cho các bạn có thể tiếp cận dễ dàng hơn. Và đừng quên là nhấn nút subscribe và follow, và sau đó tương tác cùng với IDP ở trên TikTok nhé. Vậy thì nếu mà trong tháng 6 này và tháng 7, tháng 8 em muốn đăng ký thi IELTS ở IDP thì sao? Hiện nay thì IDP có chương trình ưu đãi dành cho các bạn là khi mà đăng ký các kỳ thi vào tháng 7, tháng 8, ví dụ những ngày thi của tháng 7, tháng 8 với hình thức thi trên máy tính trước 30 tháng 6 thì các bạn sẽ nhận được một phiếu mua sắm quà tặng trị giá 300.000 đồng, và các bạn có thể sử dụng cái phiếu mua sắm này để đi xem phim, khao bạn bè khi mà mình đã có kết quả cao, hay là có thể mua sách để có thể luyện tập thêm, hoặc có thể là mua những món quà tặng bố mẹ. Thì các bạn sẽ nhận được một cái phiếu mua sắm trị giá 300.000 đồng cùng với bộ tài liệu ôn thi độc quyền của IDP. Và các bạn ơi, ở Hà Nội thì vào ngày mùng 1 tháng 7 tại khách sạn Lotte, cũng như là ngày mùng 4 tháng 7 tại Hồ Chí Minh, tại Gem Center, thì mùng 2 tháng 7, sorry các bạn, mùng 1 tháng 7 tại Hà Nội, tại khách sạn Lotte, và mùng 2 tháng 7 tại Hồ Chí Minh, tại Gem Center, thì IDP sẽ có tổ chức ngày hội IELTS, và tại ngày hội này thì các bạn sẽ, ngoài việc là trải nghiệm bài thi IELTS trên máy tính hoàn toàn miễn phí này, thì các bạn cũng sẽ có một cái phần gọi là giải mã kỳ thi IELTS trên máy tính cùng với chuyên gia IELTS của IDP. Và nếu như các bạn đăng ký thi trong ngày này thì các bạn sẽ được nhận một phiếu mua sắm trị giá 300.000 đồng và bộ tài liệu luyện thi độc quyền của IELTS IDP. Để biết thêm thông tin về cái sự kiện này thì các bạn có thể lên website của IDP hoặc chat với fanpage, hoặc là có thể gọi lên tổng đài 1900 6955 của IDP để biết thêm thông tin nhé. Và đăng ký sớm nha, bởi vì chị nghĩ là cái ngày hội này thì cũng rất là đông, bởi vì tháng 7 thì đang là thời điểm các bạn bè của các bạn đều nghỉ hè, nên là các bạn sẽ tham gia rất là đông đấy các bạn. Rồi, và chắc là sẽ không để các bạn phải chờ lâu nữa. Nếu các bạn có bất cứ câu hỏi gì ngay từ thời điểm này, các bạn có thể chat vào ô Q&A để một lát nữa cuối chương trình thì thầy Cormac cùng với IDP sẽ trả lời tất cả các bạn. Còn bây giờ thì không biết là các bạn đã nóng ruột chưa, nhưng mà chị nghĩ là thầy Cormac đã rất là sẵn sàng rồi. Hi Cormac, are you ready for sharing to the student today?
Yes, thank you Hương. Sẵn sàng rồi.
Yes.
Come on. Thank you very much.
Okay, before you start, can I ask the student that can the student can you hear the sounds from speaker clearly?
Can you hear me okay, guys? Am I clear? Thấy rõ không?
Yeah, I think they
Okay.
hear you very clearly. That's
Thank you,
great.
guys.
Yes. I will stop sharing screen now.
Okay, great. Thank you, Hương. Cảm ơn rất nhiều. Okay, guys. Hello to everyone. Let me just introduce myself before I share. My name is Cormac Mcmahon. I'm from Ireland. I've been teaching IELTS for a very long time, and I am working with IDP also for quite a long time. So hopefully today I can help you with your listening and reading test score, give you some tips and advice to help you reduce your stress and increase your performance. Okay. Later on, we'll have time for some questions about the tests, and hopefully I can answer as many as possible. Okay, so let me just check. Are we okay here? Okay, just give me 1 second, guys. I'm just going to start with the reading test. Okay, can everyone see the slides? Okay, can we see the slides? The reading test success. Thành công thi đọc. Can we see that? Okay. Okay, thank you very much, Zhang. Thank you very much, Thang. Okay, and Zhang. Cảm ơn mọi người. Okay, so guys, let's begin with the reading test. Now, of course, the reading test can be quite challenging. It's quite a high-level test. However, there are some things that we can do to help us perform better. I'm going to speak at this speed during the workshop. I hope that's okay for you. Also some listening practice for you. If you miss something or if you don't hear something, make a note and ask me at the end if you weren't clear about something, okay? And I will help you. So let's take a look here. What will we check in the workshop? Well, the first 45 minutes, 45 phút, will be the reading test. We'll look at some different question types, some problems with each of these question types and some tips and strategies. Then some general advice, about before you take the test, during the test, and some common mistakes we have. Then we'll have some final tips and maybe some questions about the reading test first, okay? Now, of course, we have a lot of different question types in the reading test, about 10 or 11 types. I'm going to examine 5 question types here today. These are not only the most common question types, but also the types of questions people have some problems with. in the test. Okay, so the first thing we'll look at are matching headings to paragraphs. Now, as you know, this is a very, very common question. It says select the correct heading for each of the paragraphs. Now, the usual problems, the normal problems here are there's a lot of information, not a lot of time, and sometimes candidates try to match words from the headings to words in the paragraph. Exactly. And sometimes candidates also don't skim enough of the paragraph, or they spend too much time on one paragraph or one heading. Now, here are some tips for this question. My advice is to always do this question type first, okay? The reason for that is when you do this question type first, it will give you a good general idea of the passage. So passage 1, 2, or 3. So always try this question first, and you will have a good picture of the passage, which will help you later to find the answers for other question types. Now, remember, in the reading test, and this is a very important thing, you won't understand every word. In the academic test, the passages are from academic places, so they're quite complex, and there will be some words you don't know. Kamkazi, okay? No big deal, no problem. Always remember, in the reading test and the listening, there is a lot of paraphrasing and synonyms, okay? And with all of these questions, if you're not sure, then you should move on and return later. Can you tell me in the chat box, guys, how many questions do we have in the reading test? Bao nhiêu câu hỏi? 40. Very good. Thank you, guys. Cảm ơn mọi người. So, and how many minutes do we have in the reading test? Correct. 60 minutes. Thank you very much, guys. So, 20 minutes per passage, Zhang. So, how many minutes do we have per question for each question? So we have 60 minutes, 40 questions. How many minutes per question? 60 phút, 40 câu hỏi. Đúng rồi. Who is good at math? Okay, correct. We have per question, 1 phút rưỡi, 1 minute, 30 seconds. So if you're not sure about an answer, okay, it's just 1 point. Move on and return later. Okay, don't spend too much time. So do this type of question first. How do we do this question? Well, my usual method that I teach to my students is this. For each passage, 1, 2, and 3, we always skim the passage for 1 minute before we do any questions. This gives us an idea of the topic. What is the topic? Okay. Then we look at the headings and we underline the keywords. Then we go to the first paragraph, paragraph 1, paragraph A. We read the first 1 or 2 sentences and the last sentence. Okay. Now, if the paragraph is very short, then just the first and last sentence is okay. If the paragraph is longer, read the first 2 sentences and the last. Now, you don't need to know every word. Remember, you're just quickly reading. Then check your headings. Is there a match for paragraph 1? If there is, rất quan trọng, xóa, cross it out, okay? If you find a match, always cross it out. This will help you to focus or paragraph 2, paragraph 3. This will help you to focus on the options that you still have. If you can't find a match, okay, continue to paragraph 2 and repeat this process. Okay, now when you practice, you should practice using this process or your method. Okay, practice makes perfect. Okay, so that's matching headings to paragraphs. Now, another type of difficult question is matching information to paragraphs. So that question is, which paragraph contains the following information? Now, this one is pretty difficult, okay? However, there are some things we can do to help us, okay? What are the problems? Well, it takes a lot of time. Unlike the matching headings, it might not be the main idea of the paragraph. So there's a lot of useless information we don't need. Not all paragraphs will have an answer, and some paragraphs might have more than one answer. For example, paragraph 2 might have 2 answers inside. So how can we do this type of question better? Okay, well, first tip is do this type of question last. So let's say you're doing passage 2 and you have matching headings and matching info. Do matching headings first, do matching information last. Why? Well, you will already be familiar with the passage, and that will help you find the right location, the right area, faster. Okay. Another tip is try to find words without synonyms. Okay, synonyms like names of people, places, numbers, organizations, dates, percentages. These can help you quickly scan and find the information. But remember, numbers can have synonyms. For example, visu, 34%, 34% might be in the question, but in the text it might say just over a third or about a third. And just remember that for the listening too. There might be synonyms for some numbers. Okay, so do this question last. That's my main tip for this, matching information. Now, true, false, not given. The biggest problem here, usually for me, when I teach, is the difference between false and not given. Okay, it's very important to know the difference between what false is and what not given is, and I will tell you now. But also just be careful with true, false, not given. You must look at the full sentence. Verbs, adverbs are very important here, okay, and adjectives. Remember, it might be a paraphrase. So keywords from the question, maybe not in the passage, okay? So be careful with that. So what are true, false, and not given? Well, true means that the text is the same as the statement in the question. So the question and the text have the same information. They match. Okay. False means that the information in the question, in the statement, is different than in the text. Okay. It's not the same as in the text. It's different. It's different information. But there is some connection. There is some information in the text about what's in the question. So you can show that it's different. It's not the same. Not given means you cannot know if the question is correct or not. You cannot find anything in the text that can show if the statement, if the question is correct or not. You không biết được. Okay, you cannot know. Okay, be a little bit careful here, guys. Okay, because same and similar are different. Okay, with a fact, it's the same or not the same. Similar is not same. Okay, also with not given, maybe there are some words in the text that are in the question, but that's not enough. If you cannot know, then you cannot know if it's right or wrong. So it must be not given. Okay. Now I know this is confusing. Okay. It is a little confusing. So let's look at a little bit more information here. Some words can change the meaning, especially adverbs. Okay. Like mainly, always, occasionally, often. Take a look at these two sentences. Coca-Cola, or Coca, as we say in Vietnam, has always made its drinks in the USA. Coca-Cola has mainly made its drinks in the USA. Those two adverbs, always and mainly, totally change the meaning of the sentence. Okay? 100% thay đổi nghĩa. Okay? They change the meaning. So be careful when you see adverbs like that. Also, when you see verbs that are similar but different, be careful, okay? Take a look at this example. The man claimed he was a British citizen. That means the man said that nói, okay? He was British. The man is a British citizen. One is a fact. So that, okay, the man is. That is a fact. The man claimed, that's his opinion. Okay, so be careful with the verbs and the adverbs in the true, false, not given. Okay. Also, guys, a big tip here, and something a lot of people don't know, is that there will always be at least one answer true, one answer false, one answer not given. So if you have 3 questions, let's say question 12, 13, 12, 13, 14, and you answer true, true, false, that means at least one of your answers is wrong. Okay, there will be at least one answer true, one answer false, one answer not given. Okay, let's look at some examples. Oh, not yet. Okay, some more tips. I have some examples here, guys, but not yet. Okay, some more tips about this. If you have searched and you can't find the information in the statement, don't spend too much time on one question. If you're not sure, if you really can't find, then you should guess not given. Because you probably can't find any information because there is no information. Okay, so not given is a good guess in this situation. Okay, now, like I said, guys, if you have questions about any of this reading, you can write them in Q&A, and I will answer at the end of the reading workshop. Okay. Remember, the answers are in the same order as the text. Okay. Now, why is this important? Well, think about it. Usually the answers for the questions will be in 2 or 3 paragraphs beside each other. So when you look at your questions first, you underline your keywords in the question. Look for names, places, dates, numbers, scientific words like chemicals like oxygen or CO2, carbon dioxide. Why? Because they have no synonyms. Ví dụ, if you have question 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 5 questions, true, false, not given. And you see question 14 has the word oxygen or the word Dublin or London or Hanoi. Then you can find that in the text quickly by scanning. Then you know question 12 and 13 are before that, and question 15 and 16 are after. So guys, yes, the reading test is difficult. Yes, it's a lot of vocab, từ vựng, but you can use logic. You can use your logic to help you perform better, okay? Now, just be careful with yes, no, not given. When you write your answer, always write yes, not true, yes. Also, guys, don't write T, F, N, G. Write true, false, not given. Very clear, okay? Yes, no, not given are similar, but a little bit different. They talk about the quan điểm, the opinion of the writer, okay? And remember, like all questions, you are matching the meaning, not keywords, okay? So let's take a look at an example. I want you to read this example, guys, and here's our question, and I want you to write true, false, or not given in the chat box. Okay, so take a look at this. And I want you to choose true, false, or not given. Okay, some answers coming in. Don't go too fast. Okay, some people saying false, some people saying true. Now remember, you don't need to understand every word. Some difficult words here. Perusing, hieroglyph, posture. These are difficult words, but you don't need to understand all the words. Okay, some people saying true, some people saying false. Some people saying not given, one person. Okay, 2 people saying not given. Okay, guys, well, I can tell you the answer is false or true. The answer is not given. Okay, I can tell you guys the answer is false. So if you said true, look again at this. And I don't know if you can see my chuột. Can you see my chuột? This is the important part here. While perusing a book on the monuments of Egypt. Very good. So, guys, the answer is false because she did not find it, this thing. We don't need to know this. It means a picture. But she did not find it on a wall. She wasn't at the wall, looking at the wall. She found a hieroglyph in a book. Okay? She found it in a book. Okay, she noticed it in a book. She didn't find it. It was in a book and she noticed it. Okay, so that's false. Just be careful. These are a little bit tricky, okay? Next one. So hi. So guys, take a look at this. Take your time. Từ từ, okay. You have you know, you have 1 phút rưỡi, you have a minute and a half for each question. And tell me in the chat box, is it true, false, or not given? Okay, I think a lot of people chính xác here. Okay, rồi, rất là rồi. So, 100%. Đúng rồi. Okay, guys, well done. The answer here is not given. Because there is no information about Garib, a person. See, no synonym, easy to find. There is no information about Garib and Tingip experiments on bird flight. We don't know. Không biết. Maybe he did or she did. Oh, no, he, it's a man. Maybe he did, maybe he didn't. We don't know. Không biết được. Okay? Very good. Next one, number 3. Now this one is tricky, okay? This one is tricky. And guys, I'll give you a tip. You don't need this word, but conventional means what people think, what people accept. So for example, pho is a conventional meal in Vietnam. It means like a normal meal that everybody knows. Or bánh mì chưng, for example, my favorite. Everybody knows bánh mì chưng and pho. So now this one is tricky, guys, so take your time. This is a little bit tricky. Okay. Okay. Now, like I said, guys, conventional picture means that what people think is the truth, what people believe. Yeah, the last sentence does make it a little tricky, okay? Now, the answer is not given, because there is some information about who built the pyramids. So the answer is true or false here. Okay, guys, so I can tell you, and this one is hard, that the answer is true. Now, why is it true? Well, because, yeah, there is no evidence that thousands of slaves, thousands of people moved stones to make the pyramids. There's no evidence, but that's what people think happened, okay? That's what people accept is the truth, okay? So sometimes things from history, we don't have evidence, but we believe is the truth, okay? So there's enough information here about a lot of people moving stones to build the pyramids. There's enough information to choose true, okay? Now, guys, just before we move on here, just remember these definitions. If the information in the text matches the question, it's true. If the information in the text does not match the question, it's false. If we cannot know, không biết được, we cannot know because we don't have enough information, then it's not given. One more tip here also, guys. If you, well, I'll give you that tip later, actually. I'll give you that tip later as a question for you. Okay, next type of question, guys, multiple choice. Okay, multiple choice. So, let's look at some common problems with multiple choice, you know, A, B, C, D, choose the correct answer. Sometimes people try to read a large part of the text before they look at the question. No, start with the question, then move to the text. Question first, find the location, and then examine it. Also, guys, always take a guess if you're not sure. Now, I know this is very clear or obvious, but some people don't. Take a guess. Always take a guess if you're not sure. Be careful with distractors. Like in the listening test, there will be some keywords or words in the answers that are in the text, but we're not matching words, we are matching meaning, okay? And also, like true, false, not given, be careful with the small words in the sentence, like adverbs, adjectives, they can change the meaning. So read the whole sentence, not just part, the whole sentence, okay? So some tips, like I said, read the questions before you read the text. Look for keywords, underline your keywords, and also look for words with no synonyms. That can help you, okay? Like true, false, not given, the answers will be in the same order as the text, okay? So if you can find some keywords that are names or places or scientific words or years, dates, numbers, these can help you find the location. Usually, two of the answers will be clearly incorrect, okay? And often there are two answers that are similar. You have to pick between those two. If you're not sure, it's often good to rephrase or paraphrase the questions in your words. This can help you to look for the similar words more easily, okay? Now, if you're running out of time or you're not sure, take a guess, okay? You don't need to know anything about the topic in the IELTS test, okay? A lot of candidates say, oh, the text was about global environmental problems. I don't know anything about that. Or the text was about sport or the science of sport. I don't know anything about that. It doesn't matter, okay? The answers are in the text. You don't need to know anything about the today, right? The topic. Also, it can help to try and predict the correct answer, but be careful. The text might be different than your prediction, okay? Now, a little question I have for you guys. If you're doing passage 3, okay? Now remember, 20 minutes per passage. Per passage. If you're doing passage 3 and you are running out of time, hopefully that won't happen. Remember, guys, time is very important. Even for this workshop, I am watching my time. Okay, control the time. Kiểm soát thời gian có thành công, nhiều thành công hơn, right? Control the time, more success. But if you know, have a bad day and you don't control your time, and let's say you still have a few questions to do in passage 3, which type of question should you do last? True, false, not given, or multiple choice with 4 options, A, B, C, D. Tell me in the chat box, which type of question should you do last if you don't have enough time? Hopefully this won't happen. Should you do true, false, not given, or multiple choice? So some people are saying multiple choice. Some people are saying true, false, not given. Now remember, with true, false, not given, you have 3 options. With multiple choice, you have 4 options. Think about it. Think about the plan. Think about the mathematics. True, false, not given, 3 options. True, false, not given. Multiple choice, 4 options. A, B, C, D. Đúng rồi. Very good. So hopefully this won't happen, but if you are running out of time and you need to guess, bài đoán, you have to guess, then I would leave the true, false, not given until the end, because there are only 3 options. So 33%, 33% chance to succeed. With multiple choice, 1, 2, 3, 4, 25%, 25% chance you will be correct. Okay. Now, if there is no true, false, not given, of course, do multiple choice last. But guys, it's very important to control your time. Now, my next question. Of course, we have 3 passages. Passage 1, passage 2, passage 3. And we have 60 minutes. Okay. So, how many minutes per passage? Tell me in the chat box. In the chat, how many minutes per passage? 60 minutes, 3 passages, 3 texts. Text 1, text 2, text 3. So Lam says 20, Cho says 20, Nguyen says 20, Đức says 20, Daisy, Lương 20, Thế Anh says 20, Diệp says 20 minutes. Thang says 15. Interesting. Thú vị. Depends on the difficulty level. Yeah, good answer there. Lum says 35 minutes. Unfortunately, no. Sang says 25, 25, 10. No, Sang, that's not a good split. Huing says 18, 20, 22. Well, guys, we don't know how difficult each passage will be, okay? So we're saying like chumbing, average. Now, it depends, okay? Well, guys, I can tell you that 20 minutes is close, nhưng mà sai rồi, but wrong. Why? Well, my next question. How many minutes extra time do you get to transfer answers in the reading test? Thêm bao nhiêu phút nữa? Đúng rồi. Nhân says 3. Menkhang says 3. I said, how many minutes extra time? Extra, which I think is thêm nữa. Thêm bao nhiêu phút nữa? Nop says 0. Vũ says 1. Well, the answer, guys, is 0. The answer is 0. You do not receive extra time. In the listening test, you get 10 minutes extra after the test. However, in the reading test, you get 0. Okay, so let me write something in the chat box here. 60 minutes, 3 passages, but you do need about 3 to 5 minutes to transfer. Usually people can do it in about 3 minutes. So guys, actually, you only have about 18 to 19 minutes per passage. Okay, so just be careful with that. Don't forget, you have to transfer the answers. Okay, now some people like to put the answers in while they are doing the questions. That's your choice. Okay, your choice. But remember, no more than 18 to 19 minutes per passage, okay? Don't spend 25 minutes on passage 1, okay? You will be making more pressure, making more stress. Áp lực, căng thẳng, right? You'll be making more pressure and stress. So 20 minutes maximum, or 18 to 19. Okay, let's look at an example here, guys. Bisous. So here we see a passage, and here we see 4 answers. So take a look at the question and tell me in the chat box what you think the answer is. Okay, A, B, C, or D. So let's see the answers in the chat. Now this one, not too difficult. Okay, Zoe. Lots of answers coming in. So remember, guys, we're looking to match meaning, not keywords. We're matching meaning. I don't know the Vietnamese for match. Nghĩa is a meaning, right? Or ding nghĩa. Maybe someone can teach me. But we're matching meaning, not keywords. So very good. The answer is C. Now, you don't need to know contaminate. Okay? You don't need to know residue. Okay? You don't even need to know purchased. You won't know all the words. Okay? Someone told me that. Is it Noi? I can't see the dấu, but thank you very much to Daisy Lương. Lương. Okay. Thank you, Lương, for the dịch tiếng Việt tiếng Anh. So guys, you don't need to know every word. This is a very important thing. You must accept, you must be okay with not knowing all the words and not getting every question right. Very, 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 very few people get over 36 or 37. Okay, if you get 30, that is 7.0. Okay, which is a very high score. So you can get 10 questions wrong and still get a very high score. Very impressive. So you must be okay and just relax and accept you won't know every word, and you can get some questions wrong. It's okay. Now, guys, if you said B, some students said B, you got burns from the hot coffee. There is no information here about burns, okay? Just that you had some hot something on your clothes, right? On your clothes. So the answer is C. All right, guys, so multiple choice. Like we said, there's no information about spilling coffee on the floor, nothing about burning, so you must choose between C and D. We don't know contaminate, okay, but we can see clothes, and we're not matching the keyword clothes, but we're looking at the sentence. Hot liquid escapes tiny hole, leave you, give you hot something on your clothes. Quite clear. Okay. So guys, before we do summary completion, remember with all of these types of questions, there is some strategy. There is like logic you can use here. For example, matching headings. Do this question first, follow the method. Matching information, do this question last. Look for words without synonyms. True, false, not given. You must know what is the difference between false and not given. Also, if you can't find the answer, it's probably not given. Oh, I see a typo here. I say no given. I must fix that. And with multiple choice, Remember, read all of the question. Look for adverbs. Look for adjectives that change the meaning for both of these. Okay, we're not matching keywords. Okay, let's look at another type of question, summary completion. So this is when you have gaps and you have to complete the gaps to complete the summary of the text. Okay. Again, focus on the summary. The summary is usually summarizing one or two paragraphs in the text. It's usually not summarizing the whole text. Okay. Remember, like all the questions, the examiners are using synonyms and paraphrasing. Okay, it will be a paraphrase. It's a summary. The whole idea of summarizing, like in the writing test, is that you're paraphrasing. Remember the grammar rules when you're summarizing. Some gaps need a noun. Some gaps need an adjective. Some gaps need verbing. Some gaps need verb past tense. Some gaps need a verb present perfect. Okay. If you have a multiple choice option for the summary, sometimes you will have multiple choice option. Be very careful, because sometimes one or two of the options are matching words from the text. Don't be fooled. Okay, don't be tricked. You're matching meaning. Just because the word is in the text does not mean it's the correct answer. Okay. So what tips do we have? Well, when you're looking at the summary, which is the question, when you're looking at the summary, try to predict the answer. You know, just think, what would I write in that gap? Okay, very quickly you can predict. Then think, well, what kind of word do I need for the grammar? In fact, for the grammar to be correct. Maybe it's a verb, maybe it's a noun, maybe it's an adjective or adverb. Could be maybe an adjective and an adverb. They might both work sometimes. Look for the synonyms and paraphrases in the text. Again, the keywords will help you find that, will help you scan. Scanning is a very important skill. You can't read the whole text, guys. There's not enough time to read the whole text. It's about finding the location of the answer for all question types. Okay. And like I said before, don't spend too much time looking for one answer. If you can't find it, continue. Okay. Sometimes also you can delete or remove some options if you have options, because they don't work with the grammar. Okay, you can remove some options that don't work with the grammar. So maybe that you have 4 options, one of them is a noun, but you see that in the summary it says John wants to the process. John wants to. That means it's got to be a verb. Okay. Or John wants to change the process. John wants to change. That means it must be an adverb. Wieso? John wants to totally change, completely change. Okay. So if you get options, think which options can work, which options cannot work. All right, guys. So that's just some question types. Now, I guess I'm a CHINH PHÜC TÄI. I guess I'm an expert, but there are much bigger experts than me in the world about the test. So I took some advice from them, okay, to give to you. Before we take the test, so when we're practicing, Okay, ở nhà, luyện tập ở nhà, right? Practice does help, okay? Practicing the test will help you. Now I have a tip up here. Where is it? Sorry, 1 second. I don't think I included it. So I'll give you an extra tip I haven't included. Something very important, guys, is that when you are practicing for the IELTS reading test, don't only do IELTS practice tests, okay? Remember, this test is about vocabulary and reading, okay? Yes, you should practice some IELTS practice tests, which are available on the IDP website, okay? Yes, that is useful, but don't only practice. The best other way to practice is just reading English, okay? Reading normal English about sport or the news. That will really help your reading speed. It will help your vocabulary, and it will help your ability to take out information. A good website for this would be news websites. So for example, VN Express, Vietnam News, okay, Tuổi Trẻ, Báo Nhân dân. They all have English language websites, okay? I actually work for Báo Nhân dân myself. They all have English language websites, and the topics are often quite relevant to IELTS. Environment, science, education, current affairs, you know, what else do we have? Sport, okay? They're often quite relevant topics. So yes, do practice the reading test and do time yourself. Use your timing, okay? And I'll give you another tip about that later. But also 1 time per day, read something interesting. Read something you like, okay? About a new video game, about, you know, a TikTok star, or about, I don't know, a football match or whatever, a basketball player. Read some news, read something interesting. That will really help. And it's less boring. Okay, it's less boring. Also, some tips about your study. Adverbs, very important, as we said before. Also, prefixes like un or pre or dis or mal or miss or mono or by and bicycle. Sometimes you won't know a word, but you can break the word, okay? For example, bicycle. Of course, you know this word. You know that by means what? Tell me in the chat box. What does by? Yes, comics is fine, Sang. Comics are fine. That's reading, okay? By. What does by mean, guys? B-I, bicycle, or bisexual, or biannual. Very good. By means 2. Tri, T-R-I, like triangle, triannual. Or trilogy, Lord of the Rings trilogy. Very good. Tri means 3. Very good. By plus 1. Okay, so what I mean is, sometimes, guys, you don't know the word, but you will see a prefix, and that might help you. Okay, maybe you see the word biannual or triannual, and you're like, what? But you know annual, maybe, means 1 time per year. Một lần một năm. Biannual, 2 lần một năm. Triannual, 3 times. So prefixes are useful. Also suffixes like full and less. Of course, less means without. Full means with. Like I said, read from many different sources. Practice your skimming, which is quick read, and scanning, looking for detail. I don't have time for this guy here. So we'll go to the next one. Like I said, skimming and scanning are very, very, very important. You must skim each passage before you look at the questions. Passage 1, passage 2, passage 3. You should skim. Motfut, 1 minute. What is skimming? Well, read the title and the subtitle. Sub means below. Subway, submarine, subheading, subtitle. Okay? That's skimming. Always skim for 1 minute. Scanning, you know, is finding the location. Look for the keywords. Look for the proper nouns. Okay, like the dates, the numbers, the people, the places, the organizations, like United Nations or Communist Party. These things don't have synonyms. There are no synonyms. Okay. Sometimes also, if you do the paper test, you can follow your finger or pencil. Also, in the computer test, in my thing, you can follow the chuat, okay, the mouse. Like we said before, guys, during the test, the timing is very important. During the test, chamsuat, right? Read the instructions carefully. How many words? How many words am I allowed for my answer? 3, guys, try to stay calm, okay? I know it's hard. I know there's a lot of I know there's a lot of pressure on you, but when we are not calm, we make bad decisions, okay? So try and chill, okay? Just follow your method. You have done enough work, okay? Vocabulary is key. You won't understand every word. Don't go over the word limits, and don't spend too much time on one question. Okay, take a guess, and maybe you will have time later to come back. Always skim for 1 minute. Very important. Like I said, some reminders here. Do the matching headings to paragraphs first. Do the paragraph matching paragraph to information last. And if you're too short on time, do the true, false, not given, or multiple choice last. But you should try and kim swat dezan. Try and control your time. Okay. Let's take a quick look at this little video here, guys.
5 common mistakes to avoid in the IELTS reading test. Are you struggling to get the score you need in the IELTS reading test? Maybe you're making one of these common mistakes. Mistake number 1, trying to read every single word. Sure, it's essential to read the text, but in a time that's available, it's not always possible to read and understand every single word and sentence. Don't worry. Your aim should be to skim the text for meaning and then scan it for the answers that you need. Try to understand the main ideas of the article. If you're not sure of a particular word or phrase, just move on. Mistake number 2, not understanding the question. In saying that, while you can't take too long when taking the reading test, being slow and steady and taking a little extra time to read the question properly will pay off in the long run. Mistake number 3, giving 2 answers. Don't hedge your bets. Sometimes when people are not certain of the answer, they might try to write in 2 options. Since there are no half marks in IELTS, it has to be marked as wrong. Don't waste those valuable points. Mistake number 4, not transferring everything to the answer sheet. It's a great idea to take note from the question paper as you're reading through the text, but just make sure you remember to transfer all the answers to the answer sheet. The examiner will not see your question paper. Mistake number 5, don't assume anything. All of the answers to the IELTS reading questions are found in a text you read.
Now, guys, assume. I did know this word in Vietnamese. Is it cho dang, maybe? I can't remember. But assume means that you think you know something before you check. So, for example, I assume it will rain today. That means I think it will rain, but, you know, I don't really know. So don't assume. Maybe someone can give me Vietnamese of that. I think it's cho dang.
Mistake number 5, don't assume anything. All of the answers to the IELTS reading questions are found in a text you read. Don't assume anything based on your knowledge or experience. For example, if the test question is, Smoking is dangerous and can lead to cancer. Is this true, false, or not given?
So, smoking is dangerous and can lead to cancer. What would you guess about this, guys, from what you know in your life? Tell me in the chat box. What answer would you guess? Okay, everyone would guess true. That means we assume true is correct before we check. But
if the reference text says no research showed evidence that smoking is dangerous and leads to cancer, then the answer must be false.
So, if the text says this, make it a little bit, okay. So if the text says this, I mean, obviously, like, we don't think this is correct, but that doesn't matter. The text says this, so the answer must be false. So don't assume you know.
Then the answer must be false, even if that sounds crazy to you. Finally, experiment to see what works for you.
Okay, thank you very much, young lady. So guys, we had most of these tips already, okay? I'm going to move to the listening test shortly. I'll take a few questions about the reading test. So if you have any questions, guys, about the reading test, please put them in the chat box now. I will give you these final tips, and then I will quickly answer your questions on the reading test, okay? And then we'll move to the listening test. So we had most of these already. You won't understand every word, okay? If you don't understand a word, look at the words near. Look at the words close to it. Also, number 2, don't just practice IELTS reading, okay? Practice your reading skill with normal things, normal subjects. Read the instructions very, very carefully, okay? If a number is written as a word, it is actually still a number. Visu, 32 cars is one word, cars, and a number, 32. If the question asks for 2 words only and the answer is red and yellow, what should you write? Okay, you should write, well, what do you think? Tell me in the chat. Red, phi, yellow. Very good. One word means only one word, okay? Just one. Be careful with that. Don't panic. Relax, okay? You probably won't get 40 from 40. That's okay. Remember what I said. You can score 30, which is amazing. Get 10 questions wrong and still score 7. Vocab, okay? Now you guys are doing the test soon, so don't read lists of vocab from books, okay? Read articles, read things online. If you don't know a word, check it, write it down in a book, and you will remember it, okay? Remember, timing, you need transferring time, okay? Remember, if you think you know things about the topic, that's okay, but be careful. You might not have the same view as the text. And this last tip is quite useful, actually. If you're practicing the test, the reading test, I think it's good to practice with a little bit more time at the beginning. So, Visu, first time you practice, take 30 minutes for one text. 30 phút. Take your time, relax. Then check your answers, check why you were wrong. Then the second time you practice, lần thứ hai, with passage 2, take 20 minutes. Okay? And then lần thứ ba, take 16, 17 minutes. So practice slow and practice fast. Be careful when transferring your answers, of course, with the spelling. Okay, be careful with the spelling, and leave no empty answers. Okay, guys, no empty answers. All right, let me take a look in the chat here just to check if there are any questions about the reading test. Only the reading test so far. I see one here from Tuschan. Okay, Tuschan. Do we have to transfer the answers when taking the computer test? No. When you take the computer test, you will answer the questions as you answer. You will write the answers as you work on the questions. You do not need to transfer, okay? Oh. Any more questions on the, any more questions? Okay. Just 1 second, guys. I'm just going to share my screen here. Okay. Second. I'm back. Okay. Hello, everybody. Let's look at the, just put the listening up first. So yeah, I see some questions in the Q&A. Thank you, guys. I will get to those now. Okay, so the questions on the reading. It says here, should we skim the, this is from Tuan Hung Levan. Should we skim the passage, then do each question following instructions, or read each paragraph and do the questions which relate? Van, always read the question first, then find the location, the Quang, the approximate location, and then do the answer. Don't read the text first. Wynne says, should we learn all the new vocabulary in the passage? From the text, when you're practicing, no. Okay, you don't need to know every word. I would say words that are important, that have affected your answer. Yeah, learn those words. But you don't need to know every word. Okay, especially if your test is very soon, like next month. Okay. You don't need to learn lots and lots of new words. Tien says, is it true if the reading test or listening test is too difficult, the required number of correct answers to get a score will vary? No, that's not true. The band score system is fixed, okay? They don't vary the scoring. Do you have to do the writing task on paper when you take the IELTS test on the computer? I think that you write it on the computer. The IELTS computer test is taken fully on the computer, apart from the speaking test. Please show us a sample of the answer sheet. You can find that on the IDP website, the answer sheet, or just Google. Take a look at, this is for Ang Luang. Just Google IELTS reading answer sheet. Just Google that, Luang. Okay. Nyan, should we apply linear thinking in reading or apply skimming and scanning? Since in IELTS, all the words in the question will be paraphrased. Well, Kanyan, not all the words will be paraphrased. No. Skimming and scanning is the best technique with the time you have available. Linear thinking, I'm not sure what you mean by that, but you cannot read the entire text, okay? Not all the words will be paraphrased, only some. Okay, only some. There's a lot more questions in here in the Q&A. Okay, I told you the matching headings and information. If you have to smack or twist a croissant, very nice. I love croissants. How to do the multiple choice questions in the listening test? Well, that's the listening test, okay? I will discuss that next. Okay. Listening test next. Is it true? Angding, is it true that for reading and listening answers, candidates can write in full capitals? As I remember in the past, upper or lower case is very important. That's a good question. A lot of people do write in full capitals when they transfer answers, to be clear. It's probably a good idea. However, if you're completing the summary completion, you should not use viethoa in the middle of a sentence, unless it's a name of a place or a person. Okay, so be careful. When you're transferring answers for other question types, it's okay, but be careful with the summary completion or the gap fill. Okay. Next question. Oh, I can't. Oh, I have just two more. Okay. I always achieve 5.5 to 6 reading. I think if you need to improve more, you need to read more. You need to read more English every day on normal topics. That's the best way. Just like the speaking test, to improve, you need to speak more. Okay. Same answer for you, Lena Chen. Okay. You need to read more English every day. Okay. That is honestly the best way to improve. Okay, guys, I have to move to the listening workshop now, okay, because I only have 30 minutes left. However, this workshop is shorter, okay? There are less tips I can give. However, before I start, the biggest tip I can give you for listening is to listen more, okay? Now, how can you do this? Well, YouTube, movies, Netflix are very useful. However, without subtitles, okay? When you have subtitles, I can't remember the Vietnamese, is it Phuc Đệ? I could be wrong about that, maybe it's Chu Đệ. Maybe it's Chu Đệ, I can't remember. But when you have subtitles, you are reading. Maybe someone can tell me in the chat the Vietnamese word for subtitles. Phuc Đệ. Okay, thank you very much. Phuc Đệ, come on. Yeah, when you use subtitles, guys, you are reading, okay? Yes, you're listening a bit, and that can help. So here's my tip. If you watch a movie for the first time, use the English subtitles, okay? Then, if you like the movie, okay, or if you don't like it, 1 week later or a few days later, watch the movie again without subtitles. You know the story, you know what happens, but your ears will do all the work, okay? So that's a good tip for improving your listening. But like the reading and like the speaking, practice makes perfect. Okay, let's take a look at the listening test. Now, guys, something you must know is section 1 has 2 speakers. Section 2 only has 1 speaker, mono. Mono means 1. Section 3 has usually 2 or 3 people, or maybe 4 sometimes, and section 4 has only 1 person. Remember that. Section 2 and 4, only 1 person will be speaking, okay? Okay, so a few things that you need to be aware of. Remember, the recording is only played once. Usually you have some time before each section to read the questions. However, only one section gives you some time in the beginning only. Section 4 will give you some time at the start, but no break in the center. There's a break of about 2 seconds, 3 seconds after question 34 usually. Okay, read the instructions carefully. Remember that a date or a number is 1 word. A hyphenated word, okay, a word with this in the center, that is still 1 word. A compound word like football player, which has no symbol here, is 2 words. Okay, spelling is important. Oh, you're telling me my presentation is still reading slides. Oh, okay. Thank you for letting me know. Let me fix that for you. Sure. Let me close the reading slides. Not sure why that happened. Okay. Let's try that again. Okay, mọi người ơi, can you xác nhận có presentation tiếng Nga bây giờ? Do I have the listening presentation now? Can you see that okay? Come on mọi người. Thank you guys. Okay, guys. So yeah, I was just giving you some general tips, okay? Just be careful with this symbol. If there is 2 words connected with this symbol, that is 1 word, okay? But without this symbol, it's 2 words, like football player, okay? Sometimes there are quite long gaps between answers. That's okay. Or sometimes 2 or 3 answers will come very quickly. So be aware. Also, guys, sometimes the answer for question 1 will come quite quickly after the recording starts. So you must be ready. Don't be chilling at the start, okay? Vấn đề rất là to ở Việt Nam. Something very common a problem in Vietnam is the số nhiều, okay, the plural. Dog and dogs are not the same, okay? Exam taker and exam takers are different. So be very careful with plurals, okay? Also, guys, remember that sometimes they change the answer, especially in part 1. They say, what is your address? What is your address? My address is 75 Main Street. Oh, actually, no, 73 Main Street. Sometimes they change that information, okay? The key in the listening test is focus, okay? It is quite difficult to focus for 20 or 30 minutes on audio, okay? 20 minutes of audio focus is difficult. So practicing the listening test helps us improve our focus, our concentration, okay? Let's take a look at some question types. Now, with multiple choice, often you will hear all the options that you are given, okay? So don't jump too quickly to one option, okay? Often the options are quite similar. And of course, there will be paraphrasing, okay? There will be paraphrasing, there will be synonyms. So don't just look for keywords. We are matching meaning. Like the reading test, we are matching meaning, not words. This question causes a lot of problems for people, the map label, okay? So when we're doing a question like this, of course, look at the word limit. Usually prepositions are very important here. Below, above, beside, behind, next to, opposite, okay? These are key words for this kind of exercise. Also, guys, look at the map before you start, okay? Always find out where you are at the start. You are here, okay? Then look at the order of the letters. The questions may not follow this order, okay? Questions may not follow this order, but usually the recording will, okay? Also, guys, on each map, every word that's given, like penguins, lake, main building, all those words are important, okay? Those words will be used in the tape, in the recording. So study where you are, where the numbers or letters are, and all the words, okay? Also, adverbs of location are also important. Like I said, things like north, south, east, west, north of, south of. Now you have to know this, guys. Ví dụ, Hải Phòng city is of Hanoi. Tell me in the chat box. Hải Phòng city is of Hanoi. Hải Phòng, do you know your địa lý Việt Nam? Địa lý đất nước Việt Nam. Thang Lê says east. So Hải Phòng city is of. So is it north, south, east, or west? Hải Phòng city is of Hanoi. Đúng rồi, east of. Let's try this one. Ho Chi Minh city is of Đà Nẵng. Ho Chi Minh city is of Đà Nẵng. So is it north, south, east, or west? Đúng rồi. Very good, guys. So just be careful with that. No, Ho Chi Minh city is south of Đà Nẵng. That means below. Okay. For these other types of questions, guys, just be careful with the grammar. When you're doing a gap fill, think about, like the reading test, think about what kind of word you need. Is it a noun? Is it a verb, adjective, or adverb? Okay, so check the grammar and the spelling and the word count when you are transferring your answers. Check these things. Do the words fit? You have 10 minutes to transfer. Quite a long time. Okay. Now, here's something that's quite useful. Okay. Sử dụng hiệu quả. Signposting language. Ngôn ngữ. Chỉ dẫn. What is this? Now, when we are in the city, like in Hanoi, and I need to find out what street am I on? Where am I? Usually I look at the sign on the street and it tells me Kim Ma Street or Lê Văn Lương Street. I can see the sign and that tells me where I am and where I need to go. And there is a way of doing this in the test, okay? Especially in section 3 and 4, when it's quite difficult, and especially section 4, which is very long. If you are lost in the recording, it's very difficult to find the answer. You need to know what question you're doing. Where am I? What question am I on? Okay, how can we do that? Well, let me show you. Here's a table, okay, a gap fill. Okay, gap fill table. Let's look at question 22. Okay, well, we look at this time of day, changes in number of people, and first of all, what kind of word do you think will be here? What kind of word do you think we need here? Tell me in the chat. Đúng rồi. Rất là tốt. Danh từ, tĩnh từ, động từ. Very good. It, of course, is a noun. Could be a plural noun. Yeah. Anyway, look at 22. Now, here it says visitor numbers, overall number of visitors. This is not part of our question. However, it's very important that we are listening for these words or paraphrases of these words, synonyms. Why? Because then when we hear this and when we hear this, visitor numbers, overall number, we know that question 22 is very close. Also, excuse me, words like this, floating rubbish, boat pollution, garbage, trash, ship, okay? These are not part of a question, but they're helping us know where we are in the question, okay? So we know our location. We know when question 24 is coming. So don't forget to follow all the words in the questions, in the table, in the multiple choice. Follow all the words. They can help you know where you are, okay? Now, why do I have this here? Well, I want to show you guys something. If you miss one question, just like in the reading test, it's very important. Don't panic. Don't stress. Just forget it. It's finished. Qua muộn, xong rồi. Okay, it's over. It's finished. It's too late. Keep your focus. You can get 10 questions wrong. You see here? 30 to 31 and still get an amazing score. 7 is very high. Or you can get 17 questions wrong, almost half, and still score 6, which is a fantastic score. It's a great score. Okay, so if you miss a question, stay calm. Okay, stay cool, relax, keep your focus. If you lose your focus, you will lose your place. You will lose the location of the answer. Okay. All right, let's take a look at some
5 top tips to improve your IELTS listening score. If you're preparing for your IELTS
Now, can you hear this lady clearly, guys? Mọi người có thể nghe người phụ nữ này rõ không? Oh, rồi, okay. Sorry for my Vietnamese pronunciation, but I love to practice. That's how we improve. Okay.
Tips to improve your IELTS listening score. If you're preparing for your IELTS listening test, here are some simple tweaks you can make to your preparation and test technique that will make a big difference to your score. Get used to a range of accents. You've probably had friends and teachers to a range of accents.
Now, guys, accent là giọng địa phương, like a local sound. Like you have giọng miền Nam, giọng miền Bắc, miền Trung.
You've probably had friends and teachers recommend you listen to English radio to help you prepare for your IELTS listening test. That's great advice. To really maximize the benefit, you should listen to as many different accents as you can. Try listening to British, American, Canadian, and Australian radio. IELTS is an international English test, and you'll hear all of these accents in the test. Check out Australian Broadcasting Corporation, PBS, and BBC. Read the instructions carefully. It's so simple, but when you're in an actual test situation, it can be easy to overlook. Try reading the question through twice to make sure you don't miss any important points. Here's an example. If the question says, write no more than 3 words, and you write 4 words, you would not get points for giving more than what is asked. In fact, your answers will be marked as incorrect because you didn't follow the instructions. Take a little extra time to read carefully, and you can avoid wasting valuable marks. Don't leave any blanks. Don't leave any gaps on your answer sheet. Make sure you provide answers for every question, even if you have to make a guess. You won't lose marks for incorrect answers, and you might just surprise yourself by getting some correct. Look ahead. Read the questions that are coming up and think about what the question might be about. You can probably predict some key words that you need to listen for, even if you're not a fortune teller. Now remember, what you hear might not be exactly the same as what's written on the exam paper. So listen out for different words that mean the same thing, like car and automobile. These are called synonyms. The more you practice, the better. Improve your listening by finding ways to listen to English every day. The more you listen, the faster your understanding will improve and the better you'll be at picking out answers in your test. Remember, keep positive and keep practicing, and you will see improvement. Now it's your turn.
Okay. Good tips. Now, guys, very quickly, I'm going to give you some common mistakes that people make. Sometimes people don't use the time before the recording starts. You need to use all the time you have. Now, at the end of part 1, for example, it says that is the end of part 1. You now have 30 seconds to check your answers. If you are happy with your answers, move to part 2 and look at the questions. If you're happy with your answers, use all the time you have. Like I said before, if you miss a question, it's okay. Không có gì. Tiếp tục. Relax, stay focused, okay? You can take a guess later. Remember that the distractors will be there. Just because you hear a word that's in the options for multiple choice does not mean it's correct. The meaning is what we're interested in. Now, this one, if you're doing the paper test, some students, for some reason, không biết tại sao, I don't know why, but they like to write the answers on the answer sheet while they're listening. Right? Don't do that. Okay. Focus only on the listening. Don't write on the answer sheet before the end of the test. Okay, you don't need to do that. Also, guys, like I said, you maybe you want to get 40, maybe you want to get 30 or 20, it doesn't matter, but just be realistic, okay, about your goals. Okay, don't be too hard on yourself. When you practice, if you practice the listening test at home, you can listen to it more than one time. Okay, you can give yourself more time to read the questions. Think about the grammar. Think about the type of word you need. Think about the answer. Predict the answer. There's no rush, no hurry. Đừng vội, okay, at home. Then, like the reading test, later you can practice on the time, one time only. Okay. Don't forget to predict answers. This one is quite important. Visu, if I go to Nha Ga, Hanoi, right? I go to the train station and I'm listening to the Vietnamese, you know, I'm going to Ninh Bình, for example, and I'm listening to the person telling about all the trains. I'm only interested in the train for Ninh Bình. That is called targeted listening. So when you practice that, it improves your accuracy. Okay, we're only listening for the key information. Okay, like the lady said, you need to listen to different accents: Australian, New Zealand, British, Irish, like me, and American. Okay, and South African also. The most common are British, American, and Australian. I guess if I told you to focus on three, I would say British, Australian, and American. Okay, the Irish accent, my accent, is quite similar to British, even though we're very different, because Ireland is not in the UK. Don't forget that. Also, guys, in part one, often they will spell the answer, like, for example, Ireland, I-R-E-L-A-N-D. Or they will write phone numbers like 0324561424. If you have a problem with those, there are YouTube videos where you can practice just that. They're quite easy, so you need to be careful. In Vietnam, often I hear W and X cause a lot of problems. People think they are U and S. Okay, W and X, be careful with those. Also, guys, be careful with 15 and 50. Okay, Muelam và Namwe. Okay, the stress on Muelam is 15, 15, and the stress on Namwe, on 50, is 50, 50. Okay, so be careful with those. They will try and confuse you with those: 50, 15, 18, 80, 19, 90. Okay. Like I said before, sometimes they change their answer. They say, my address is 15 High Street. Sorry, 13 High Street. Okay. Careful with those. Also, when you're checking your answers, when you are transferring answers, okay, be careful with the grammar. All right, guys, we have a few minutes for, oh, thank you very much, Chen, for the compliment about my thing Viet. It's just practice. I'm still very low. My my Vietnamese IELTS score is very low, maybe a 3, but I'm improving. Càng ngày càng tốt hơn. Okay, guys, so let's take some questions on the listening test. Let me check in the questions. Đã thi trên máy tính có được phát nhập không ạ? Okay. Okay, so Phương Thao Nguyen says, it's hard for me to note down words I hear while maintaining my focus on the audio. Okay, that's a good question, Phương. This is about practice. As you note down the answer, remember that you don't have to note the full answer. Okay, yeah, you have to write something, but later you will transfer. Okay, so if the answer is information, you can write info. If the answer is, you can make it short. Otherwise, it's all about practice. Okay, you need to practice writing the answer down and keeping focus on listening. It's training your brain. For example, for a long time, I worked as a DJ and a teacher. And when you DJ, you have to listen to 2 songs at the same time. The song that people are listening to and the next song in your headphones. And it took me about one month to learn how to do that. So it's easier with IELTS, okay? You can practice listening and writing, but keeping your listening focus, okay? Đức, is that Đức? No, Daknam Pham says, I hope to receive your advice. I'm struggling with linking sounds and phrases. I cannot hear clearly. Okay, Daknam Pham, that is also practice. You need to practice listening more. Also, actually, your problem of the words that are linked together, like you know, I want to go to the shop. I want to go to the football shop. Words close together. Subtitles, which I think was phụ đề, that can help you. So watch some movies with subtitles, okay, or YouTube. But guys, be careful on YouTube. Only use subtitles that are correct. YouTube often has auto subtitles. They are not correct. That's why Netflix is much better, or movies that have subtitles made for them, okay? Luan Zuang says, when we practice listening, should we read the transcript of the audio after listening to it? Yes, that's a good idea. If you got some questions wrong, Luan Zuang, if you got some questions wrong, read the transcript and figure out why were you wrong. It's a very good tip. Zum Chen says, do you think taking listening on the computer is more difficult than on the paper? No, I think they are the same level of difficulty. Same level, in my opinion. Anonymous says, can you restate which question type we should do first? Well, that was for the reading test. Yeah, you should do matching headings to paragraphs first. Another person said, can we choose to do passage 2 or 3 before doing passage 1? Yes, of course. You can do any passage first. My advice is, if you quickly look at the passages and you see, okay, passage 1 is about science, passage 2 is about sport, passage 3 is about history, and you think, you know what, I'm good, I like sport. Do passage 2 first. Then later, do the difficult passage, because you will be more warm up. Your brain will be working faster. Okay, your English skills will be better later in the test. Okay. Tang Le says, how to do multiple choice question in the listening test effectively? Well, Tang, you have to read the multiple choice options, underline the keywords, pay attention to adverbs or adjectives that change the meaning, okay? If the options are very long, usually they're not quite long, okay? But look for the differences. How are the answers different? Usually 2 of them will be quite different and 2 will be similar. Vingbao Huang Lam says, do you think auto sub is correct native English sub on YouTube? No, auto sub is not accurate, okay? Comting sack, it's not accurate. My advice is use subtitles that are made correctly, like on Netflix, okay? Ang Leung says, how to keep track of the recording? I often lose focus, so I don't know which section I'm listening. Can we listen and answer at the same time? Ang Leung, this is practice, okay? If you practice listening tests, your focus will improve. And look for the signpost words, okay? Remember the words I showed you here. Where are we? Here. Signpost words are words that help you follow the text. And remember, they could be words that are not in the question, okay? Should we listen and write down the transcript for practicing? No, that takes too much time, okay? Just do the exercise when you practice, then later, give yourself time before you listen to prepare. Then later, after you do the exercise, read the transcript with the tape and find where the incorrect answers were, and stop the tape and think, why was I wrong? Why did I get that wrong? Okay. What type of pen will I use in the test? I'm pretty sure you use a buchi. I think you use a pencil in the listening test. Okay. But write clearly. Okay. Make sure you write clearly. Okay, guys. I think that's all the questions that I can see. That's all the questions that I can see. So I hope that helped everybody today with your test. Just to summarize some general tips for you guys about the test, okay? You're welcome. Here's some last tips from me about general tips, okay? The listening test is your first test in the morning, as far as I know. I'm a speaking examiner, but I don't do the listening test. However, before the test, guys, eat your pho, your bánh mì chưng, or your noodles or rice at least 1 hour before the test. If you eat directly before the test, your body will be slow. Okay. Second tip: don't drink a lot of coffee or energy drinks, Red Bull or Sting. Okay, before the test. These do not improve your focus. They improve or they increase your heart rate. Okay, so drink lots of water before the test. Okay, don't drink energy drinks. Also, don't be late. Okay, I know it's obvious, but if you live in a big city like Hanoi or Ho Chi Minh City or Haiphong, often there's a lot of tắc đường, right? There's traffic jams. So leave early. You don't need the extra pressure. Okay. Another tip I have is before the test, the listening test, and especially the speaking test, speak some English with the other people there. Okay, it's a bit it's a bit strange, but you need to warm up your English brain. Okay, just say, hey, how are you today? I feel nervous, I'm tired, I hope I do okay. Where are you from? Oh, cool, I was there once, I was on holidays. Oh, you're from Dunedin? Oh, cool, or whatever. Okay, where do you live? Just speak some English. The day before the test, don't study too hard. Okay, the day before the test, it's too late. It's too late to learn new vocabulary. So watch some movies in English, listen to English, speak some English, read some easy things in English about video games or pop stars, whatever you like, okay, your hobbies. Try and get a good sleep if you can before the test, okay? If you can't sleep, you can use something to help you sleep. You need rest, okay? So those are all the tips and the advice I have for the listening and reading test, and some general advice. Best of luck, guys, to everyone. Took my man good luck to you all. I'm sure you'll all do great. Remember, it's just a test, okay? Life goes on after, so stay calm and relax and you'll be fine, okay? Thank you to IDP for organizing this event, and thank you very much, everyone. And we'll see you again. Remember, the test materials are available on the IDP website. You can get the practice tests there, and yeah, practice makes perfect. Okay, just keep practicing. God be with you, says Ang Luang. Well, thank you very much, and see you again. Cảm ơn mọi người. Xin cảm ơn. Việt Nam vô địch. Bye bye.